There I am. Hi, I'm Mike Morales. You are watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks and platforms. I'm here in San Antonio. That gentleman out there is
Jim Johnson, Youngstown, Ohio.
Now, Jim and I have a very interesting Sipping Off the Cuff. This has never happened before. You folks who are following us might remember that we had tasted and dissected Azulana ready to drink beverages, cocktails. There's a full name for them. Anyway, that was late last year, and of course it was a Brand of Promise winner in the ready to drink category. It was delicious. It's made with 100% agave tequila. So as the year started, we were the owner, Henry Morita, one of the three owners, contacted us and was just jazzed about his medals, and very nice man. We've had several conversations. Anyway, out of the blue, he sent myself and Jim the prototype, the actual base tequila in which his cocktails are produced. So this has never happened. You'll never see this, ladies and gentlemen. I just took the wrapper off of this. This is the base Azulana 100% tequila that is coming out of his distillery. That turns out that it is the same juice that is master distiller is Ingeniero Leopoldo Solis, who uses the Mozart method. Do you have the number of the distillery number, the NOM number on that?
No, and there was nothing on this bottle, and this is very much a promotional thank you bottle. There's a message on this label. This is not for retail sale or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't think they had to bother with all the requirements of having, the taxation numbers and the import numbers. This is a very much a under the table, thanks for your help kind of.
Yeah. It was very nice. I mean, that's usually how it's done when someone is looking to do flavor profiles. Many times samples are distributed to other tasters. You'll see, I mean, most recently you probably checked The Rock's Instagram, and you'll see they're at a boardroom table with
25 bottles in there.
Yeah, 25 bottles of samples, and they're trying to decide what flavor profile they want for what ultimately has become Terramana, which we're hoping to get somewhere in March. It is 1443, and this is the Grupo Industrial Tequilero de los Altos de Jalisco. That is the distillery where this juice is coming from.
So 1443.
1443, yeah. And again, this never happens. We're never thanked with a full bottle of a tequila that you will never see on the market. But
we are very grateful.
Yeah, we're very grateful. And he's such a nice guy, too. We had some great conversations discussing tasting techniques. And, I shared with him our video with Ingeniero Solis during our last Tequila Standing TV pilot that we shot, and where we interviewed him. He actually came to the studios, and we interviewed him in Spanish, and he was teaching everybody there how he tastes tequila. And it's always been a very cool instructional video as well. So, and I spent a whole evening with this guy. It's like, and I think I may have mentioned to you when we were doing Azulana that it's very much like spending an evening with Gandhi. So, but anyway, we're gonna enough of the stuff. We're just gonna taste this. What we've been doing lately is, instead of giving you all the background information, we're just gonna pop this baby open. This has never happened before for us. Oh yeah, wow,
whoa,
that's interesting. That cork smells interesting. Holy cow. What's in this stuff? Most of the time we'll give you the background information first, and then we taste it. But we're going to try and flip this around. And I had to preface this with an explanation. because it's just something that we've never done before. So we're using our Stossel Jarritos for tequila. I'm pouring myself a nice healthy pour. There's lingering bubbles.
Yeah.
What?
That's a pineapple aroma.
Yeah.
Right out of the bottle. Now,
I'm not sure what, how, as I see it, there's some beautiful legs and tears. I mean, just a whole string of pearls, but they're much more clingy than we normally get in a commercial tequila. All right, this is a base tequila. I'm not sure what's in it. I smell like papaya or something. There's a strong fruitiness that is not something that I'm familiar with on a commercial.
It's like a sweet anise that I'm picking up off of it. I get the agave on it, but I'm getting like a sweet anise, almost like a sweet licorice nose off of it.
There's I'm you know what, I'm just gonna I'm gonna describe this for you folks who are listening to us on our podcast. I'm gonna drip some on my hands and diffuse it. Let the alcohol diffuse in my hands. A lot of people think that tequila tasting is all about your tongue. Sometimes, most times, especially when it's something unusual that I've never had before, I'll pour some in my hands like you would with aftershave or cologne. And rather than slapping it on your body, you diffuse it in your hands.
This smells like lime verbena from Bath and Body. Oh wait, that's myself.
You don't have cologne on, do you?
No.
Because I don't. And when you'll be a lot of you folks may be very privy to our Catador course that we're building out now. We're actually building a platform for it so that we can do this online, and you'll see this technique live. But anyway,
that sweetness did not dissipate.
No, this is an additive. I can tell you that right now off the bat, this is some sort of additive that I'm not very clear about what it is. It's unusual. I think if I were to smell this on a commercial tequila, I would want to know what it is.
Could this be something to stabilize it once it gets into a carbonated cocktail form, possibly?
Probably so. The rules for commercialization of tequila versus the rules for ready to drinks are two separate animals. Okay, right. There's a lot that is allowed when you produce a ready to drink or a margarita mix. We've had margarita mixes that have been using diffuser tequila. Tequila's made with a diffuser, simply because diffuser tequila is primarily vodka. So right. It adopts very well to juices and limes and extracts and things like even barreling. So it's really good for that. But this tequila had an unusual nose to it, almost like I want to say fruit.
Not unpleasant. It's just sweeter than you would expect off of any 100% agave commercial right. tequila. This is not right. This is a sweeter smell than I've ever smelled.
Yeah, this is definitely adulterated. It is allowed commercially. You're allowed 1%. Well, depending on who interprets your nome, anywhere from 1 to 3%. This probably has maybe more so than it should, but it's got to stand up to the bubbles. It's got to stand up to,
and the flavoring that goes with it, I think.
Right. Well, the most unusual one was that pineapple rosemary.
Right.
They have 3 different flavors. One is the original margarita. The other one was I believe was a Paloma style.
Right.
And then the last one was a rosemary pineapple, which was really unusual, but very. But this is
almost getting like a little bit of cane juice and not sugar, but natural sugar, cane juice or natural sweetness off of this. It's a fruit sweetness.
Well, I'm getting I gotta tell you, it reminds me of Lifesavers. It reminds me of the remember the old Lifesavers when we were kids, and even to this day, I enjoy the gummy Lifesavers. This is like a pineapple gummy Lifesaver. This is
what the inside of that bag smells like.
Yeah, yeah. And again, this is unusual. Okay, it's not. We're not putting it up against anybody. We're not putting it up against other tequilas or other 100%. This is just as a thank you and a gift. Okay, let's taste it. Let's see what we've got now with the tasting. Okay, the nose and the flavor profile are equal.
They match up. Yeah.
You said it was an anise. I'm thinking more if it's a kind of a Lifesaver flavor. It certainly is artificial. I noticed also when I poured it that there was maybe more glycerin than I'm used to seeing in a
little thicker.
It's a little thicker. Yeah, the mouthfeel is thicker. But see, then again, it has to be.
It's very much got a menthol. When you take in some oxygen with it, it's got a little menthol on it.
Yeah.
But I'm getting kind of that it's a baked flavor, but it's not baking spice like we've typically gotten. It is like oven baked. It tastes like almost like it was roasted in a clean oven. You know, when you put chicken in a clean oven and you roast it, it doesn't pick up any charcoal or grill flavor or gas flavor when you grill it. It's baked. It's just got that little bit of like it's cooked. I don't know how to describe it. It tastes cooked.
Right. Well, to my knowledge, and Henry may be the one the Henry Morita, the owner, one of the three owners of Azulana, may be able to clarify this with us. To my knowledge, this distillery does not have stone ovens. It has autoclaves. So, it pressure cooks. It pressure cooks agave. It is pretty agave forward. I'll have to say that it's got a long finish. It's aggressive, but it's the aggression of the agave is equally aggressive to the additive, whatever that fruit additive is.
Right, and right behind here, just that anise that I smelled a little on the nose becomes a little bit more of a menthol. The licorice devolves into a menthol flavor on the back of my palate.
Okay, I'll buy that. It is rather there's some bitterness on the back end. It's on the back end in the finish, like the sides at mid palate to the side to the ends to the end of the
right. Flavor. But with that bitterness, you still have a little bit of the sweetness still at the front of your tongue that is giving me that licorice kind of sensation. It's just that it's like it's not a fully developed anise or licorice flavor, but it's hints of it. And if you take some oxygen in, you're getting some menthol.
What an unusual flavor profile. I'm not sure I would enjoy sipping it as much as
I think this was built to be part of this cocktail. I think it was built to stabilize and stand up to carbonation and the natural flavoring that comes with it, because this has got to be in a can, carbonated with the lime and the salt that they put into the Azulana.
Yeah, I think the flavor profile, due to its purpose, it has to be amplified. You know what I mean?
Right.
And again, it can have 100% agave in it. It is not being commercially, they're not gonna put it on the market this way. They'd have to tone everything down.
Right.
The fact that they're using great agave, though, because that's something that came through in the original ones that you and I tasted. There was no doubt about it. It's tequila. It's 100%. Um, but again, the rules and the laws for sipping tequila versus tequila you're going to be using in a mix are probably different, and I think the rules are a little bit more lax. You know, like you said, Jim, it's going to have to stand up to all the stuff you got to do to it.
Well, and the interesting thing to me is just recalling when we tasted the ready to drink cocktail, I got more of a 100% agave commercial tequila flavor profile out of the cocktail than I do out of this. And I think maybe that's a good thing and a testament to the person blending this, that they made the cocktail taste more like it actually had tequila in it by blending or adding to this tequila so it stood up against the flavors. I think, you know, this by itself, I probably wouldn't sip it, but I think you could mix this with a lot of stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that the way this flavor profile is structured, I think this was built to be in a can and give the canned beverage more of an agave flavor profile.
Yeah. See, and again, this is really fascinating to me because we're not privy to a lot of these prototypes and samples. You know, it's rare when anyone ever asks us for to judge a flavor profile so that someone else can make a decision on it. I mean, I've been asked before, but I have also been asked to do this, you know, by signing an NDA, and I refuse to do that because I don't care who P. Diddy is.
Right.
You know, he was the one that, you know, that was the stipulation because, you know, at Tequila Aficionado, part of our content is writing and showing people what goes on behind the scenes.
Right.
So anyway, I think our best bet would be for us to invite Henry Morita to explain to us how this all works behind the scenes, so that we get a clarification. So in the meantime, you have been. I will sign off briefly. In the next segment, hopefully we'll have Henry on the line with us, and he can kind of fill in the blanks. Okay. So you have been sipping and watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio. That gentleman out there is
Jim Johnston in Youngstown, Ohio.
And again, stay with us because you're going to be hearing from one of the owners of Azulana, ready to drink cocktails, about the process, what it takes to come up with a really tasty ready to drink, and how this base works. So stick with us. Whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.